Okay, good afternoon, my dear student.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I am good, and you, sir?
I'm okay. How was your weekend?
The weekend was interesting. We had matches.
Eh,
Arsenal played with Liverpool. We won, although I'm an Arsenal fan, and many other interesting things.
that is so interesting. So, well done, well done.
Thank you.
So, today we are going to look at another topic, which is development of transport, communication, and trade in Africa. So, our case study will be focusing on Africa. We are going to highlight the key words. Are you seeing the screen now?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing the screen. I can see the keywords of the topic. Then I see development, Africa, trade, communication, transport.
Yeah, that's what you're going to explain. The keywords, for example, development, transport, communication, trade, as well as Africa as a continent of our concern in today's lecture. So, what is development? What is development according to you? What is development?
To me, what is termed development is just like taking a step ahead. Any positive step taken ahead, to me, I term it as development. And it can be in a number of ways. We can see it maybe through agricultural mechanization. We can see it through urbanization, industrialization, and many other things, aspects of life.
Okay,
Yes,
so that is Lawrence's opinion according to his understanding about development. So development, as you are saying in our slides, this refers to the process that results in growth, progress, a positive change, or the addition of physical, economic, and environmental, as well as social and the demographic components to any existing system or environment. I think you understand this. So are you getting this point?
yes, I got it now.
Okay, so we are going to look at those major aspects in our topic. So we shall also look at transport. Transport list refers to the movement of people with their goods from one place to another. So in geography, as far as we are in geography, we shall include even our geographical terms. For example, phenomena. These are events, these are things that can move from one place to another. So in certain geographical areas, but our emphasis will be on Africa, how people move from one place to another in Africa by using a lot of different means. We are going to look at the different types of transport. So what are you seeing on your screen now?
I see transport, and in it there is land transport, there is water transport, air transport, and pipeline transport. So with their pictures included.
Okay, so those are types of transport. Those are types of transport: land, water, air, and pipeline transport. Those are the 4 major types of transport, though we have other minor types of transport. So, but our emphasis today, we shall explore the major ones, as you are seeing on the screen. So, what is land transport according to your understanding? What is land transport?
So, as you have rightly said that we use some specific terms, I can say that land transport refers to a phenomenon where like instruments move on a land, and the instruments here can be the vehicles, can be motorcycles, can be bicycles, and many others that move on a land and transfer people with their goods from one place to another.
Yes, thank you so much, my student Lawrence. That is the real definition of land transport, where materials, people, goods move from one place to another through land by use of various means, for example, trucks, lorries, and others. So, that is one of the major types of transport. Another type that you may think about is water transport. Water transport means the movement of people, the movement of goods from one place to another across water bodies. We have a lot of water bodies in Africa, lakes, rivers, streams. For example, here in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, we have Lake Victoria. We have been moving through Lake Victoria using different water transport means. For example, canoes, electronic boats, and other types of boats. Are you getting me, Lawrence?
Yes, I get it, sir.
Okay, so another type that you can talk about is air transport. So what comes into your mind when you hear that word, air transport? Which type of transport are we talking about?
Yes, sir. To me, when we talk about air transport, we are trying to look at things, actually things that move in air. And one of these can be aeroplane, it can be other craft materials that move via space. So it is movement in the atmosphere using the gadgets, and it also enables transfer of people with their goods from one place to another. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, the movement of various machines, various goods, people within space, within atmosphere, because we have a lot of types of aircrafts that have been evolved with as far as transport is concerned. So we are using these aircrafts to fly over through different regions. For example, here we have a lot of airports. So Lawrence, do you have some examples of airports which you can put forward to as an example where these machines, these aeroplanes could land?
Yes, sir, I have some examples. And for the case of Uganda, I have ever visited Arua Airport, and it is in Arua City, that is in West Nile. And there is Entebbe, and we all know that that one is in Kampala, capital city. So those are some of the airports I have ideas on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence. Thank you so much. So those are examples of airports. We have national airports, we have international airports, we have aircraft fields where small aeroplanes can land. So we have a lot of these fields or the airports. So we have, for example, someone can fly from here to Egypt, to places like Cairo, places like Aswan. There is a place called Aswan in Egypt. So we have been interacting between different countries here in Africa in terms of air transport. So another type that you can talk about is pipeline transport. So what is pipeline transport, Lawrence?
From my previous knowledge, from A level, O level, they have been telling us that pipeline transport can be referred to as movement of goods from one place to another. And this can be coal, this can be petroleum, this one can be oil, and many other things. So it is movement of oil from one place to another, and it can also be water through use of pipes, tanks.
Yeah, those are things which are in liquid form, which are very difficult, which are very difficult to pack into things like sacks to be moved from one place to another. Those are things that we can transport through pipelines. So most especially oil, we have petroleum, we have coal, and others. So thank you so much, Lawrence, for that opinion. Another keyword that we can talk about. Are you seeing my screen, Lawrence?
Yes, I see it, sir.
Yes, what are you saying?
I'm seeing communication as a major topic, and we have verbal communication, non-verbal communication. I see some people being drawn under non-verbal communication, showing different signs, others stressing their hands. Many others, I see a lady facing a lady, and I see something like an audio, I'm not sure. So that is what I see from the slide.
Yeah. What is communication, Lawrence, according to you, according from those images you have seen?
So communication, I can say communication, this involves two parties, one sender and the receiver, and it is transfer of message from from a sender to the receiver. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So this is a process of imparting, acquiring, accessing, interacting, a face-to-face interaction of people. But in this communication, there will have a sender and a receiver. There is no communication that can take place without a sender and a receiver, as well as a feedback. Because if you send a message, you have to know the feedback from that person whom you have sent to. So you have to make sure that there is a sender, there is a receiver in your conversation. So we have a lot of types of communication, but the two major types of communication, as you are seeing, we have verbal communication and non-verbal communication. As you have seen, we have verbal communication. This is a face-to-face interaction of two or more people. As you are seeing, the people in the first image, these girls, they are actually interacting verbally. Are you getting me, Lawrence?
Yes,
Are you seeing them?
I see them.
Okay, so I have here a video which is explaining what is verbal communication is all about. So you can hear it.
Transport, to me, it refers to the their goods from one place to another, and this can be done using various means, types of transport, and many others. Sectors, for example, here, marine, and others. So, according to the booking of transport, as you know, so far as stated, people use throughout. Yes, from my previous knowledge, there are a lot of transport means and the systems that people engage themselves in. One can talk about the road transport, and this refers to use of trucks, use of motorcycles as a means, and it refers to movement on a land using those means of transport. So that is one type of transport I talk about. That is for transport where people use various gadgets from one place to another, especially cars, trucks, lorries, by move with their goods. So another one I talk about water transport. So can you tell me about water transport? Yes, water transport refers to movement on water from one maybe port to another port, or from one landing site to another landing site. The best example I can give is the one that is done on Lake Victoria, that a cast. Another one that we can talk about is air transport. So can we talk about air transport according to this is movement in the air, and it is through use of various gadgets, and you can talk of aeroplanes. We know aeroplanes, they are time fly from one airport to another. For example, here in Uganda, or actually in East Africa, we have the Entebbe airport, we have Nairobi airport, and all this facilitates movement in the area from one country to another. So somehow keep us safe, but rail transport, what is peculiar features about rail transport is that rail transport is more transport about the goods. For example, something about that was used by colonials long time ago. So that is the most popular example of rail transport. How a safe and good job rail transport. So we hear that. So thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence. So in Congo, East African transporting all types as planes, tricolour, transport, and East Africa as the way of East Africa. So thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence, for your suggestions and opinions for this. Yes, you're welcome.
So have you heard the video, the audio?
I heard the audio very well, and I heard of songs being produced by two gentlemen whose names I don't know, but they were trying to communicate. The other one was acting as the sender, the other one was acting as a receiver. So the one who was asking questions was, to me, the sender, and the other one who was responding to the questions with the relevant examples in the context of East Africa is the receiver. Thanks.
Yes, thank you so much. So that's what we call verbal communication. So another type, we are here, we have some people. Are you seeing some people here in non-verbal communication? Are you seeing them?
Yes.
What are you seeing there? What are you seeing those people? What activities these people are doing?
So I see these are actually pictures that have been drawn, and they are communicating a lot of things depending on each individual's sign language being used. Like the first one, who is raising up the hand, is trying to maybe raise up a hand to ask some specific questions to meet his demands. Then the other one was stretching, the other one was raising hand, the other one was sad, especially those two in the left hand side in the middle. So there seems to be sad and many others. So generally, they are using signs to communicate. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, my dear student. So these people, they are not using words, they are using signs. For example, people with disabled problems. So they are using signs, as Mr. Lawrence has said. So another type, another keyword that we can talk about is trade. So, my dear student, what is trade according to you? Because are you seeing the slide, what I'm trying to show you?
Yes, to start with, I see the slide. There is some concept map that has been used with the central information trade. And there are types and also meanings of relevant words. That is what one thing I see in the slide. And of course, the topic is trade. And then I see people in the market trying to sell goods like oranges, mangoes. The woman in the red shirt is the seller here, and the other one is buying. I also see a person in a shop trying to shop. So that is what I see. But coming to definition of trade, I can say trade, as we have seen in picture one, where there is a woman with a red shirt trying to sell to the man with the black shirt. That means there is a buyer and seller. So I can define trade as buying and selling of commodities like mangoes, any commodity that can be sold and human beings can use for their consumption. To me, it is trade. So it involves buying and selling. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, my dear student. So, trade, it involves selling and buying of goods. Because as Mr. Lawrence has said, we are seeing people who are in this image, they are trying to interact, they are selling and buying items like mangoes. Here I'm seeing a man who is just, I think, is shopping in a certain supermarket, is trying to monitor which items is going to take. So the types of trade that you may talk about, we have import and export trade. So import trade, this involves things to come into your country. For example, Uganda can buy things from different countries, India, China, USA, and other countries. That is import trade, things that are coming within your region, within your country. Export, these are things that are going out. For example, here in Uganda, we are normally basing on agricultural products. We are now taking things outside the country as far as agricultural products is concerned. So in these export products, we are earning a lot of income. We are earning a lot of money. So that we later we can use to develop our nation. So even trade can be on a stronger dimension, can be on a cheap dimension, and others. So are you seeing the types of trade I'm trying to explain?
Yes, I'm seeing them.
Okay, thank you so much. So that is all about trade. So let's move on to another key aspect, key word, that is Africa. So we are going to see where Africa is located, where different types of transport, practice, trade, communication lines, and where development has been taking place in Africa. So when you see these places which I'm trying to point out, for example, here we have Cairo port or Cairo city in Egypt. Here down we have towns of South Africa. We have Bloemfontein, we have Drakensberg, Johannesburg, and others which are more developed, because we are talking about development. So here in East Africa, we have Mombasa, we have Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, we have Nairobi in Kenya, and Kampala in Uganda. So are you seeing them, Lawrence?
Yes, I'm seeing them very, very well.
So Africa is one of the continents we have. We have 7 major continents. So our case study was going to be focusing on Africa. So Africa is one of the continents. We have Europe, we have Asia, we have South America, we have North America, Austria, and New Zealand, and other major and minor continents. So our emphasis was on Africa. So that is the location of Africa. I think we are seeing different transport communication lines. Are you seeing them?
Yes, others are in red in color, others are in purple, others are yellow. So they are all talking about transport, communication, and trade.
Yeah, thank
Based
you so
on what?
much. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence. That is the picture for Africa, showing different aspects that we have discussed above. So because of time has gone, allow me to conclude by saying that while progressing has been made in different developing countries, so communication system and trade within Africa is still a significant challenge, remains that requires coordinated effects or efforts from governments, regional organization. For example, you can talk about Organization of African Union. You can talk about ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African Countries. Those are organizations that takes up into the consideration issues about the West African countries, for example, Mali, Nigeria, Ghana, Burkina Faso, those West African countries. So the organization is called ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African Society or organization. So those organizations should work hand in hand. For example, here in East Africa, we have East African Community in order to boost our trade, communication, and transport networks. We have international partners, most especially the USAID. USAID, we have UN, United Nations. So when you cooperate with this organization, I'm sure we can boost our sectors in terms of transport, in terms of communication, in terms of development, and others. So by cooperating this, we can overcome these barriers that impede economic integration on the continent of Africa. So with the issue of time, I think, Lawrence, we can stop here. How do you see? Do you have any comment? Do you have a question or you don't have?
I don't have a question, but only to say that have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you so much, my students. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Okay. Lawrence.